When we're talking about people's fees being hurt, we're concerned about that because discovery is so expensive. That's what we're concerned about. We're concerned about people using copyright law as a muzzle to freedom of speech.
So there are two camps. One says that uncivil law is never going to stop, and the other one says that he will stop. I am in the camp that thinks that he will, but I'm also outside of the window where he's able to sue me this time. There are people that are still in that window, and there will people that will be in that window again. And in order to minimize that, I think the only thing to do would be to post this, and so that you can see that he knows what he's doing, and that he can see that the internet can see him. And so when him and Stephanie came to us behind the scenes and said, just delete the video and we'll remove the strike, he's trying to use the copyright system to get these videos deleted in an illegal fashion. It's so crazy that these videos that you're about to see exist.
Is that dating video bullshit? When someone did a compilation of me looking
all right,
now
I'm going to
is this the unreleased uncivil law dating video where someone did some compilation of me, a bunch of videos make me look bad, look like an ass. One of my least favorite things of all time, man.
I'm gonna screen it. I'm gonna try.
If you play this thing on your channel, I will never talk to you again.
And Akilah Hughes sued Carl Benjamin for copyright infringement. A district court has ruled on the merits of copyright can easily assess whether a losing party advanced an unreasonable claim or defense. Tellingly, the complaint describes Benjamin's video as an effort to mock and discredit Hughes. Two strong indicators that the work constituted fair use. Yeah, so that was a clue. In her own original complaint, she wrote that this was mocking me. This was mocking me, and this was making fun of me. In her original complaint, she said, this is attempting to mock me. And the court is like, sounds like fair use to me, man. Sounds like fair use to me. There are two different things in play in terms of the analysis. There's sort of the culture of the thing, and there's the law of the thing. All that matters is the original video is from Akilah and what Sargon did. Like, there's nothing else. There's no other evidence that matters, particularly because copyright is strict liability. What other evidence is there? What does it matter? We have all the evidence that matters. There's nothing more, right? And obviously, people will disagree about it because it's a multi-factor test. You know, for some reason, a judge from the next highest level up the chain is deciding this. He has come down the totem pole from the Court of Appeals and is deciding this as the trial judge. So you would expect that to speak with a little bit more authority than it normally would. You know, if this was a decision being decided by your run-of-the-mill district judge, that's one thing. But this is being decided by a circuit judge. So you would imagine it carries a little bit more gravitas, a little bit more oomph. Now, somewhat critically to the fair use analysis, he did not do anything else to the video. He merely took portions of her video and spliced them together. He didn't provide any other commentary or any sort of other video or any sort of other audio. It was her work in total, not the entirety of it, but all of it was hers. So he cut up portions of it and made a video about it. The court ruled that his use was so clearly fair use that what she did essentially amounted to copyright misuse, copyright abuse. And as a result, she would have to pay his attorney's fees. Often we would go forward to the next step of discovery. But when we're talking about free speech and we're talking about people exercising free speech when it relates to opinion and fees, right? When we're talking about people's fees being hurt, we're concerned about that because discovery is so expensive. That's what we're concerned about. We're concerned about people using copyright law as a muzzle to freedom of speech. Oh, right of reply is recording my stream and uploading clips? Well, that kind of sucks. Intent to silence criticism. Sought through the improper use of copyright to silence critical speech. She falsely claimed to YouTube that Sargon's critical video of her infringed copyright. As a result, YouTube disabled public access to the video. This is plainly contrary to the copyright's goal of ensuring access to critical works. Yeah, let's take him down. Hughes referred to Benjamin in a tweet as a carnival barker and expressed a desire to convince the crowdfunding platform GoFundMe to terminate Benjamin's campaign to fund his legal costs for this action and to bankrupt him with a libel suit, which sounds suspiciously like we're using this suit as a harassment technique rather than as for its legitimate purposes. It sounds suspiciously like we might be using this lawsuit as a mechanism to harass rather than really to justify whatever legal rights we think we have. Maybe that's a thing that these tweets could suggest to a reasonable observer. Maybe that's a problem. Maybe she shouldn't have opened her mouth. Maybe that was a bad idea.
Is that dating video bullshit? When someone did a compilation of me looking
all right,
now
I'm going to
is this
put
the unreleased Uncivil Law dating video where someone did some compilation of me, a bunch of videos make me look bad, look like an ass? One of my least favorite things of all time.
Benjamin immediately emailed Hughes and requested she withdraw the takedown notice, asserting his video fell within the fair use exception to the Copyright Act as parody or satire. 3 days later, after Hughes refused to withdraw, Benjamin sent YouTube a DMC counter notification asserting that SJ Levels of Awareness was entirely transformative and intended for parody. Thereafter, YouTube reinstated public access to the Benjamin video, which is exactly what YouTube is supposed to do. Not that they always do it, but it's what they're supposed to do. So if someone sends them a notice, they're supposed to take it down. If someone sends a counter notice, they're supposed to put it back up. And then your only remedy is to go to court and fight about it. But when she opened her mouth and she showed her true motivations in clear and open daylight, well, you can't fault me for taking notice of you saying, here are my motives. I am the villain. Watch me twist my mustache. You can't then do that and then be surprised with your surprised Pikachu face when I then take notice of it. In short, Hughes endeavored to profit from an objectively unreasonable and frivolous lawsuit, and frivolous is one of those words that makes every attorney pop up and pay attention, because frivolous is just about one of the worst things you can say. It is like you were nowhere near anything resembling a legal argument. Frivolous is pretty insulting. Plaintiff has faced widespread public criticism as a result of losing her lawsuit. Well, people have a right to comment and critique. As you have learned, one of the essential purposes of the Copyright Act, and more to the point, one of the essential purposes of the First Amendment, you're American, so you should know better. One of the essential points of the First Amendment is criticism and critique. So you filed a stupid lawsuit, and people have been analyzing that you filed a stupid lawsuit, and you were warned about the stupidity, and you kept going, which is stupid. I mean, stupidity after being warned explicitly by a judge.
You're allowed to say mean things about people. Opinion, even about another person, is totally legal. You can think someone is great, and you can think they're a jerk. And either way, it's legal for you to say so. In fact, here's an opinion for you. I think Murray is filing this lawsuit because his ego is so fragile, and he is so thin-skinned that he uses lawsuits as an adult's temper tantrum.
It's notable. So you entered the public arena, you got smacked down hard, and you have been mocked for it. So, she's on the other end of the paddle, as it were. She's on the other end of the paddle. She started swinging. So now she's gotten spanked by it, and it hurts. How sad can I possibly be? Not that sad is the answer to that question.